All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this video. So in today's video, I'm literally going to be showing you what the heck I spent 10,000 freaking dollars on. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you the exact funnel and exactly how to set it up, what to say in the advertisement, how to convert leads into appointments that show up to a sales call that end up making you freaking money in your coaching or agency business. Okay, so just to give you guys some context, I'm going to be starting off exactly with the exact process and why it works, right? Because if you understand why it works, you can understand how to do it. Okay. So let's start off with the high level overview of the funnel and why it works, right? So there is a process that you have to go through in order to turn a stranger into a high ticket paying customer. Okay. There is a formula to it. And this funnel right here that I'm showing you guys is the exact funnel to turn a stranger into a high paying customer. So the first things that you're going to start off with is an ICP, right? An ideal customer profile that is a stranger. So in context, you're going to want to have a very clear distinction of who exactly it is that you go ahead and serve and what problems you're fixing for that specific person. Okay. Because if you have your specific niche with your specific, avatar that you go ahead and work with, this funnel is going to work extremely well for you. So this funnel is super simple. You run this funnel on Instagram and you're able to go ahead and get qualified clients into your program. Okay. So your first thing that you're going to want to set up are the ads, which I'm going to show you in just a moment here. But the advertisements are what's going to get these strangers' attention, your ideal customers' attention. So with these advertisements, once you go ahead and post them out there, they're basically like your pit bull. They're going out into the arena, fighting every single day because they're getting in the attention from all the other competitors that you have out there into your page, which is designed to get you a follower, right? So once you get a follower on Instagram, you then consistently post content. So once you post content, this content is designed to get people to know, like, and trust you, okay? So you have a stranger who follows your page, who watches your content, and over time gets to know a little bit about you, gets to like you, gets to trust you, and ultimately, once they're ready, they either reach out to you or number two, you reach out to them and you ultimately then get them onto a sales call. You have the opportunity to then present a solution to the problems that you create content around and that you create advertisements around, right? And then they become a client, and that means there's money within your pocket. Okay, so that is a very high level overview of how to turn a stranger into a customer. And if you can master that process and if you can really ingrain that into your brain, you're going to be massively successful with this entire process. And to give you guys context, I mean, like this is the funnel. It's probably maybe $500,000 at this point, right? This one simple funnel is very simple. So let's get into, before we get like into the technical details, what you're going to need to know about the Instagram funnel that I've been using to get clients, what the checklist is going to be looking like before you jump into the whole process. Okay. So before you get started, you want to make sure that you have 6 to 9 pieces of content on your page. Okay. You don't have a complete blank page. Most people, like, if you're just starting off with content, you've never created content before, well, just at least make sure that you have something on your page. You don't want to look like a freaking bot, right? And then after that, you want to make sure that you optimize your bio. You guys can see my bio right here. I help agencies and coaches gain and retain clients. This is a video you're watching right now. I made about $1 million in by the age of 24, and then I have full guides on my YouTube channel. So you want to make sure that you have a really optimized profile. It lists out who you help, how you help them, and exactly some social proof, and how they can actually start working with you. Right? You want to post pin 3 types of posts onto your Instagram page so that you can show some sort of social proof of who you help, a little bit about your story, and a little bit about who you are in general, right? So my Instagram page here, if you guys can see, there's my story here. There's a personal post here. And then obviously you can kind of use this a little bit about social proof, but long story short, you want to utilize your three pin post to the maximum, okay? And ultimately, when you're going to be running advertisements, bro, the biggest thing I can tell you is don't be a fucking pussy, all right? Meaning, you're going to run ads. you're gonna fucking spend money on ads. You can't be a square when it comes down to fucking getting your advertisements out there and promoting your fucking business. You need to get the fuck in front of people's faces so that people can see you and be like, shit, this guy has what I need to buy, right? Like, that's what you need to think inside your freaking head. So as much as you could do in order to get in front of people, this funnel is going to be fucking crazy because I went hard as fuck on this funnel. Anyways, so that is some shit that you need to know before you actually get started with this funnel, all right? Because if you start pushing traffic to a shit page, well, guess what? It's not going to work, right? So once you get your page optimized, right? You have some content on there. Your page is optimized. You have some posts. Your bio is optimized. You're then going to want to go ahead and start creating the fucking advertisements that people are going to go ahead and see, and then push them to your page, okay? So pay attention. This is actually going to get you the followers, and you need to know what the fuck to say in the advertisement. Otherwise, your advertisement is going to shit the bed. Why? Because either number one, you're boring, or number two, the advertisement just gets people to fucking scroll away, and it doesn't really do anything for them, right? So this is the framework that I use day in and day out, and honestly, this framework here has made me a lot of freaking money. So if you're going to write anything down into this video, when you go ahead and create this, I'll show you the technical pieces that you need to do to, like, what buttons to freaking click in order to get the ad out there. But fundamentally, you need to know how to craft a banger ad that's going to get people's attention, the right people's attention, in order to get them into your funnel, and then offer them a solution to the pain that they're originally experiencing in the first place, right? So it goes, first part is hook, pain, solution, social proof, and call to action. All right. So let me kind of break this down a little bit for you, so it's a little bit easier for you to understand. The hook, I promise you, bro, is the most important part of your entire video. What is the hook designed to do? It's the first 3 to 5 seconds, and whatever it is designed to grab the attention of the actual viewer. Okay. So think of it as simple as, how do I get this person's attention? Okay. You could have a visual hook, you have an auditorial hook, you could have something in your script that gets somebody's attention, but at the end of the day, you need to get somebody to stop and watch your video, because that's what you're fighting for every single day. There's a bunch of other people that are in the arena trying to fight for the same person's attention every single freaking day. The amount of advertisements and the amount of competition that you have is insane. So you want to have a really well thought out hook. How do I get that person's attention? Boom. Moving on from that, you want to label the pain. You want to go out and go into the whole process of what exactly that person is experiencing, so that they can actually feel like you're calling out their situation. And then once they feel like their ears are starting to perk up from the actual information that you're giving out, you then want to go into the solution. So you go to hook, you talk about the fucking shit that they hate and that they're going through, and you give out a solution. You give out a helping hand. And you tell them that you can solve their problems by then getting them to go ahead and follow your page. All right. So the solution, you add in a call to action, and then you add in some social proof. And you talk about how you've been able to help other people make the same transformation that they're trying to experience in their life, right? So that once they go ahead and follow your page, you can help them solve that problem through your content. So the whole point of this advertisement is to sell the person on why they should follow your page. Your page is supposed to be designed to be the solution that they've been looking for towards their problems, okay? So, for example, I'll kind of give you guys a rundown of one of the advertisements that I ran for car sales professionals when I was running that coaching business, right? I would call out the specific person, and I would call out their pain. Hey, if you're a car sales professional looking for leads, this video is for you. You're probably somebody who's great at sales, works at a great dealership, knows how to close deals. The only problem is you just don't know how to get more leads right in front of you and get a butt in the seat, right? So if that sounds like you, what I want you to do is go ahead and follow my page, because on my page, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to be breaking down how you can be getting leads, how you can create content in a way to be able to attract and build a brand, to be able to close and sell more deals, right? I've been able to help 350 other sales professionals in 30 other different states to be able to get leads through social media and close more deals and make more money. So if that sounds like you, shoot me a follow, go through my page, check out my content, and from there, you'll be able to close more deals and make more money. So if you think about that, motherfucker, I just went through the hook, the pain, the solution, the social proof, and the call to action. So that's in a nutshell. If you want to break that down, just think through how you're going to be able to do that for your specific niche, whatever people that you go ahead and serve. Okay. So very important that you understand the framework. I don't want to give you a script. You need to have a framework to go ahead and follow through so that you know how to get somebody's attention, call out a pain point that they're experiencing, having a solution for them, a social proof to back it up, and then a call to action. Okay. So that's what I was telling you. It's very important to have a good grasp on who it is that you're trying to go ahead and sell. And then you understand how this process works so that once you put together this advertisement, you know how to get them down from the top of your funnel all the way down to converting into a sale. All right. So let's go into how the content styles go ahead and convert people into getting to know, like, and trust you. Okay. So the top of funnel advertisements is to get strangers' attention to go ahead and follow your page. But once they go ahead and follow your page, your job then and there is to create content that resonates with their problems, that makes you feel like you're an authority within the space, and also, solves their problems and gives them some sort of value, right? So the reason why this framework is super powerful is, number one, it's simple, right? You don't have to overcomplicate it. And if you go through these three types of content, you consistently post these three types of content, once you get these ads up and running, it's going to convert like crazy. Okay. So the styles of content that you're going to want to go ahead and develop is what I call a value piece of content. All right. So some value pieces of content is just basically some educational pieces of content. Long story short, you could create a long ass fucking list of all of the problems that your customer avatar really goes through on a regular basis and give them tips and tricks or some sort of solution towards the problems that they go through on a regular basis. Number two is case studies. This is very straightforward. Literally just flex your case studies, right? You guys have probably seen my pages. I don't really flex a whole lot, but what I do flex when I was running the coaching business are my customer testimonials, the wins that they got, and I would regularly post that on a general basis. And then number three, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So therefore, I would definitely inject a lot of my personality and a little bit about my backstory, a little bit how I got started, a little bit how I learned all the tactics and the strategies that I'm teaching, and I'd post that onto my page, right? So once I was running the ads and people were starting to follow me, they would then get to watch my content. So one important thing to note about once you start getting people into your sales funnel is that there's a sales cycle, right? Because getting somebody who's completely a stranger to follow your content, to get to know, like, and trust you, to then eventually convert, especially if it's fucking high ticket, right? You're not selling like some fucking like $39 course. You're selling something for thousands of dollars, right? So it's like there's a whole process that somebody has to go through in order to pay you that much money, right? So by doing this, having your content is like your incubator. That's what I like to think about it. So your advertisements is out there and like casting the net. Your ads are just casting nets into the ocean, and then your content is designed to reel people in. And then once you get the content to then start warming people up where they know, like, and trust you, that's where you get into converting them into the sale through a conversation in the DMs. Instagram is fucking phenomenal at that, right? Because you can reach out to people at all points in time, have a conversation with them, and then be able to convert them into a sales call. And on the sales calls where you work your magic to be able to then close a deal, right? So let's go through the actual nitty gritty fucking details of how you do this, right? Because it's so simple. When I learned this, I was like, how the fuck did I end up paying so much fucking money for this? So I'm trying to save you guys tens of thousands of dollars that I wish I didn't have to go ahead and spend, but it's such a simple yet effective way to get clients for your coaching business or your agency that, like, I just have to give you guys the sauce on this. All right. So step one, this is fucking simple. If you can't figure this out, bro, I can't help you out. Like, you're kind of cooked at that point. But step one, go ahead and click on your profile from your actual Instagram page. Okay. Once you click on your Instagram page, you're going to obviously see your fucking feed. I don't need to explain that to you. But you're going to click on the post that you just made with the advertisements, and you're going to go ahead and click on boost the reel, right? And then once you boost the reel, you're going to see, who do you want to see your advertisement? Well, you want to choose the visit your profile objectives, because that's going to get just brand awareness and get followers to your page, right? So once you go ahead and click on that, you're then going to click next, and then you're going to see who to go ahead and show your audience to. I like to go ahead and create my own, targeting, because usually when I think through targeting, the interest of like whatever it is that like you sell a service towards, it could be fitness, it could be like relationships, it could be money making, whatever it is, just go in there and start to specify the location. So I'm based out in the US, so I only work with people in the US. I mean, if you're in the UK, maybe. But you put that in there and you want to specify the specific location that your advertisement is shown to. So I put mine as the US, and then like in terms of interest. So when I was selling to car sales people, I would only put people that, were interested in car dealerships and interested in sales. That fucking ripped it for me. And then I would think about how many, like what type of clients I'd usually sign up. And usually they're within their 20s or, even up to 60, but anywhere between the 20s and 60s age would crush for me, right? So go ahead and save that specific audience. Once you save that audience, you then are going to be asked how much you want to save or spend on your daily budget. So I recommend, once you have a few, like 1 to 3K saved aside, spend anywhere between $30 a day all the way up until $100 a day just to get started. I mean, honestly, bro, you don't have to go that crazy. Like I said, I'm just not a pussy, so I ended up spending a lot of money on it. And I got results super fucking fast. The only difference is the more money you spend, the more exposure you get. So if you have a good ad, that's just going to crank, which I just gave you guys the framework on how to have a really good ad. So honestly, your budget, I mean, I've seen people get results with as little as like $10 a day, but I honestly encourage you to at least start off with like 20 to 30 bucks a day, right? So once you set your budget, you're then going to want to click run until I pause it, click boost. And then voila, motherfucker, you're going to then start getting followers onto your page where, these are your qualified leads of people who are interested within your product to then go ahead and follow your page and watch your content, right? So once they start following your content, you're going to click on the people that follow you. Click on the 3 dots over here, because obviously this is a private account. Not everyone's like an open page. Some people ask me about this, so I'm making sure I include it for you guys. And click send a message, right? So once you send a message, this is where the races start. Boom, you just got a lead, bro. Holy smokes. You just got a lead for your entire business. And dude, when I did this, changed my life. Literally helped me triple my business and go from making like 10K a month all the way up to like 30, 40, some months 50K a month, right? It's crazy. And it was so simple. But now it's super saturated, and I honestly think that you should know this. It's like not that hard, and it's information that I wish that I had when I was starting out, and I didn't have to pay so much for it. Right? This right here is the easiest, simplest funnel that you could ever run, but it's all based off of that premise of being able to get people to know, like, and trust you in order to convert into a high ticket sale. Right? So for your coaching business, this is what you 100% need. People need to know who you are, what you've been able to do, what your work is about in order to pay you for something super high ticket, right? So as I've gone throughout this process, the sales part, which I'll make more videos on in the future, is super important, right? Because if you get all these leads, what's important for you to go ahead and follow is this DM framework, right? So you really need to think through exactly what to say once that person comes into your pipeline or once they follow your page, and how to convert them into a sale. So if you know anything about sales, well, the biggest reason why people buy is they buy solutions to their problems, and they usually buy based off of a gap. The gap is considered based off of where they are and where they're at, where they are right now and where they want to be. And that gap is what makes them create a decision in order to want to go ahead and change their situation. So with the DM framework, super simple. I follow an intro, discovery, a gap, pitch a call, and then set appointment. It's a simple 5-step framework. So when you start off that conversation, I like to have a personalized introduction so that you can get a higher response rate. You can say something along the lines of, "Hey, Mr. Johnson, your page looks awesome. Saw that you have a freaking corgi. I love corgis. Just was curious. What made you go ahead and shoot my page and follow?" Boom, broke the ice. Once they respond to you, you get into discovery, and this is where you start building a gap. You understand a little bit about their current situation, what have they been going through, you overview a little bit about their past pains, and then you start identifying that problem, start identifying where they would like to go in order to instill that gap. Once you've understood where they are, why they're stuck, and where they would like to go, and why they can't get there right now, you pitch them a call. On this call, you're like, "Hey, I think I could realistically help you out with this problem that you're currently facing. If you'd like to, I can take you on a call. And on this call, I could see if I could help you out with any of my products or any of my services. Would you be opposed to that? Yes? No? Okay, perfect. When's your next best day to go ahead and schedule in this appointment? You find the day, give them a couple times, send over the calendar link, they book in the time. Voila, you have a sales call then booked onto your sales calendar. Okay. So that, to all put it back into perspective, is why this ad is so fucking easy to make. But like, you have to understand, like, your business and your solutions just need attention, right? And you just need to like get the right people's attention. So number one, get super specific with who it is that you serve, what their pain points are, and just you understand your customer avatar to like a really in-depth level. Like for me, like doing that for the last few years, I got very granular. Like I fucking know like what, like even though I wasn't in that niche or that industry and I didn't live that life, I know exactly what it would feel like or what it would be like to experience the same problems that my customer faced. So by having that clarity, I was able to make such a good advertisement using this framework where they were like, holy shit, like, okay, yeah, I have that problem. I want to solve it. They follow my page. And then once they followed my page, I had such good content that really took them through the whole nine, right? I gave them value, case studies, and personal. And I was fucking consistent, bro. Like, I literally did that for like a year or two straight. I was just posting content every single day. People that followed me got nurtured by my content. I'd reach out to them, start up a conversation. Once I had that conversation going, I would set the sales call. I would get them onto a sales call, and that's where I would close them. And that's why I was able to make like, 30 to 50K a month, was because I had really good marketing. I was able to scale that, get a setter into my DMs and just freaking crush it. Right. So yeah, like I want to show you guys this because, there's other people in the industry who would charge you an arm and a leg just to show you something as simple as this. But if there's anything that you want to see in specific, any questions that you have in the process, please leave a comment down below. I want to know what it is that you're hung up on, but it's super freaking simple in terms of how to go ahead and set this up. But if you want to get more coaching clients or anything like that, book a call with me down below. I can help you out personally. But other than that, I'll catch you in another video. Peace.